Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the We Bought a Franchise podcast. I'm Jack Johnson.
I'm Jill Johnson.
And we have today a very special guest. We have Bubba Snider, who is the owner of a citywide facility solutions franchise. Bubba, welcome to the show. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you all. Appreciate the opportunity to visit with you today.
You got it. What market are you located in?
Located here in Birmingham, Alabama, and also a partner in Huntsville, north of me.
Wow. Okay. Very cool. I have to tell you, so we have been very excited to talk to a citywide franchise owner because, as I'm sure you know, you guys have revenue averages that, quite frankly, blow almost every other franchise out of the water. But I'm willing to bet 99% of the franchise searching population has no idea that citywide even exists. Would you mind, can you share with us our journey and how you found this franchise and maybe a little bit about yourself and what it's been like to sort of scale your franchise?
Sure. So 2020 COVID, the COVID timeframe, things started changing. I came out of the corporate America type role, working with a big Fortune 200 company, playing a role that oversaw and managed several teams across the country, work from home. Obviously, COVID changed that the business model in a way as far as the culture. Everyone's stranded at home, and at that time, I was don't mind sharing my age. I was approaching the 50-year-old mark. And so I was like, is this what I want to do, throughout the rest of my working life? And so I started talking to folks that I've known over the years, got introduced to the citywide franchise business model, did a little research, talked to several owners, and about a year later met two gentlemen that had really secured the Birmingham market from an investment perspective. Met with them, and I'm a partner with them as the operating partner here in Birmingham since May 1st of 22. So, my working path started, working in a family business, transitioned to more of a big company atmosphere, and did that for about 20 years. And then find myself here the last 2.5, almost 3 years.
Very cool.
Wow.
And before I ask you specifically what you guys do at Citywide, the numbers, according to the 2024 FDD, showed locations, the average for locations. I'm not going to ask you for your numbers because we're going to keep this FTC safe and compliant. But the average for citywide locations is $7.8 million, with the top quartile achieving, I think it was $18 million.
Amazing.
And the number one franchisee, I don't know how many locations they have, coming in at a whopping 40 million. I mean, are these numbers real?
They are. We're at the 100 mark, I think, of ownership, maybe a little bit over. I think last summer when me and my partners purchased the Huntsville market north of me, I think we were 102, 103, whatever. So we're a little bit over 100 markets now. The numbers that you shared are accurate from what I see. And so it's been a really fun ride thus far.
So
Amazing.
what do you guys do?
Yeah, that's the
how does
question of
how
the
does a
hour.
franchise do this?
Yeah. So our business model is designed. We're a sales and management company, and we're managing the skill sets in the commercial property facility maintenance industry.
Mhm.
We go in, and our approach is to save our clients time and solve their problems. And what we do is we represent them at the table, right? So we go in, as you know, there's a lot of companies out there that have someone in charge of their property or their building or their facility group of buildings on their property. And those folks normally wear a lot of hats. And so what we like to do is go in, take that workload off of them, because on a commercial property, you're dealing with 20 plus different contractors in a lot of cases. And so we're able to take that burden off of them, represent them at the table, manage that for them, give them back time to focus on what their business represents locally. So we go out and we pretty much target all industries. There's a handful that really doesn't fit us, but otherwise, anything commercial-wise out there, we're looking to try to partner with them and help them.
Interesting.
Wow, very cool. Yeah, we own, so our business, what we do is we provide window cleaning, interior, exterior, for both homes and businesses. As you can imagine, a lot of from very large, we clean a massive building in Palm Beach. We do all the interior, exterior windows. We do the pressure washing of, say, the sidewalks in the buildings. And for residential, same sort of thing. We also can do things like paver sealing. One of the challenges that we've found is that when we land these larger commercial contracts, it's great, right? They're large amounts, but the accounts receivable side was something that, quite frankly, and I'm embarrassed to say this because I've been in franchising for most of my life now, I wasn't really prepared for it. It's like, all right, we just landed this, really big job, but it's going to take our guys 6 days to do it. And we're not going to get the money for a month. And so it's something we've had to sort of adjust and be prepared for, and we intermix sort of faster paying residential jobs. For you guys, what does accounts receivable look like for you guys? What kind of time periods do you see in your business?
Yep. So we have, I would say, 2 to 3 groups of receivables. I have clients on net 10, so that helps cash flow, obviously. The majority are around net 30. And then some of our bigger type clients, bigger brands, bigger, larger recognizable names sometimes extend 45 to 60.
That's great. Does Citywide give you do you have a CRM that helps you to kind of manage all this through them?
We do. We have a CRM. All of our clients and service providers, contractors are in there. We have the ability to manage all of that data from a CRM, and then we also have other systems we use, and we have a data warehouse as well that receives all the data from all the areas that we use systematically.
Cool. Yeah, and it's the same for us. When I log on in the morning and I get the dashboard, it's like in the right-hand corner, I've got, what people owe us, what's overdue, what we're going to bill for the rest of this week, what we've collected. And they've actually integrated some pretty cool AI features into the mix as well, which is really helpful to us.
Yes, it's been easy to adapt and implement. The team to get accustomed to it, so it's not really been a challenge at all. So our systems work well for the most part. They're continuing to invest in improving those as you would in any business. So so far so good.
What's life been like for you as a business owner versus a corporate America employee? What have you seen in terms of maybe lifestyle or freedom, flexibility? What have been the differences there?
Yeah, great question. So when me and my wife sat down and looked at this opportunity, we had to talk about that. It's when you open this type of business, and you guys are probably aware, you're wearing several hats, from a sales to your operations hat to your HR to your accounting, and the list goes on and on. And since as we approach the end of our third fiscal year, if you will, those hats are slowly being removed and put on others on the team. But we knew it was going to be some long days, right? Our business model and the services we provide our clients does take us outside the office a lot. And so we want to be on site where we are providing a specific service, especially out the gate, until we are comfortable and ensure our crews are doing the work properly. But yeah, we had that conversation. Moving from a corporate position, working from home, or catching a flight and flying somewhere else in the country is a lot different than driving 30 minutes or so to your office and digging in each and every day. And sometimes, a lot of times on the weekends as well. So it's a lot different.
It is. It's we talk to our son about this all the time, because it's on the weekend. And again, I feel like as business owners, we've got a ton more freedom than we ever had before, but it's different. There's things that you do differently than you did when you were working for someone else. So there's a rhythm of things that I do on the weekend for our businesses, between our franchise consulting business and our Pink's Windows business, that I'm just sort of used to doing.
Yeah.
And so but I think when it's like when you're working on your house, when you're working on a house that you own, it's a lot more rewarding than fixing something on a house that you're renting.
Yeah.
And that's the way I look at it.
we're looking at this as well the same way. You know, nothing wrong for working for a big company and managing folks from different areas of the country, different cultures. But at the end of the day, now we should get more of a return on our time and effort and investment. So we're excited about that. We're excited about spending the time and having something long term there as well.
Yeah, I mean to have a business that if you want you can sell and it has a high valuation. I mean that's kind of again the freedom of business ownership.
Yeah, it is.
To me, the thing that I think it feels like when we talk to new clients about the sort of challenges of franchise business ownership, feels like we're always talking about revenue first and getting clients. But what I really believe it is having the right team and managing employees and having good employees. And that to me, we every day we get 2 to 3 new people contacting us about services, but having the right people to deliver those services, that's the most important thing. I don't know, for you guys, your model is a little different, but I'm assuming employees are still the number one sort of challenge. But tell me from your perspective what that's like for you guys.
Yes. So when we opened, one of the things coming from my previous path, if you will, chapter in my working life, one of the things I believed in is because I was kind of involved in a similar type concept, sales and service, right? You had your sales side of the business, providing opportunities for your service side or operation side to take care of clients and keep clients happy and retain them. So I've approached this business kind of the same way. Hey, build your infrastructure to make sure you can provide the services that you're selling and wanting to help people with. But also as that business grows, or what we call nose up, as you continue to be nose up, you build your internal team to be able to keep the business on the books, make sure your crews are being consistent with the services you provide your clients, etc. So that's been kind of my approach to this. Managing people is something I enjoy. Developing folks, because as we get older, we can look back and know folks developed us, so or helped us get where we are. So I like to do the same thing to that next generation. So I continue to build my team as we need to. I've had very little turnover. I want to show employees that they have a vital role in this organization to keep it nose up, and so I've taken the same approach really to that perspective as I have throughout my career. And then from a client perspective, we want to keep that business, and we take pride in following the business model, providing the services that we've agreed to support, and do it right and do it consistently. So we just came back from our annual convention, and we were recognized as an office in the country that does have a solid retention rate. So I take pride in that. That's something I've always believed in. Why bring someone into your organization and not provide them what you promise, and then they walk away out the back door? So that's something I preach here with my team to make sure our clients are happy at all times.
I love it. Is there anything that you do in particular to keep that retention? Is there, how do you do that? I think that's like the number one question. It's something we strive to do as well, but there's always challenges with that. So you don't have to reveal your secret, but some tips.
Give us your secrets.
Well, that's a great question. It's one that I thought about early on. Our business model is designed, each seat on the bus, every row, it's designed so if you follow that model properly and you're in front of the customers and you're communicating right and you're utilizing the skill sets for every service you offer, and you're ensuring that you're setting expectations with your service providers, you've got a better chance of it all coming together, right? Sure. So we talk a lot here. Hey, are we going about our day the way it's designed to be? And if we are, then we got a better chance of retaining business. If we're in front of the client, we should be talking about 4 or 5 things. Hey, are we meeting with the right person, the decision maker or representative of the company, who's gonna possibly make a decision that could impact us, right? Good or bad? Are we checking properly our services are being performed right? Are we looking at other ways to help our clients to show the value we bring? One point of contact, again, saving a client time and solving their problems is kind of our universal value proposition. So if we coach and train our folks properly and we're doing all of those things correctly, we've got a better chance of retaining clients. That's just the way our model is designed.
Where was your guys' franchise conference?
San Antonio.
Oh, that's a nice spot.
Yep.
What would you say that, how's the support for you guys from Citywide in terms of how they support you guys?
Yeah. The support center, for a new owner like me, getting acclimated to everything, as you can imagine, has done a great job of being there. As we're here in the local markets, encountering everything we could possibly encounter in a day, and for the support center to be there, whether it's a technical issue, whether it's having maybe an HR department guide you through the hiring process if you need any assistance there. Any aspect of the business, the support center has it. And it's been really good to be able to lean on them as we're wearing all these different hats as we take off in this business. The support center's been there, but pretty much every aspect that you would need. So it's been really
so every week we do a weekly conference call with our Pink support team. And we go over just basically the network, new franchisees coming in, and we actually get to see from a sales perspective where every office is, recurring revenue, last week's revenue, 5-star reviews, as well as our close rate. I love it. I know there are some people that don't like to have that kind of data. I want as much data as possible as a franchise owner. And I think it's great to see how we compare to other markets. And one of the things that Jill and I have always felt like is that franchising is a competitive sport. And it's not just for us to grow a business. We want to win. We want to be a top performing location. And I think that's one of the things, a lot of times when we talk to new franchise owners or prospective franchise owners, there's a lot of fear, right? Oh my gosh, what if I lose money? What if it doesn't work? And what we talk to them about is if you embrace this sort of competitive mentality, where let's say you're going in and you're a part of a cohort of new franchise owners, if your focus is to have the top revenue, and again, do it by providing great customer service. But if you are embracing a competitive attitude and you want to win, that's just another way to make sure that your location performs very well.
Yes, we're able to do that. Our data warehouse provides us kind of a high-level perspective on how other owners are performing in other markets. Your Birmingham market, we could say, is kind of the middle size market, competing against your Atlantas, LAs, all those Chicago's, whatnot. But for the most part, we can see each other's monthly performance, if you will. Mm-hmm. But we also collaborate a lot. We also talk to each other a lot. Hey, what's working there? What's not? Hey, don't do this. I've failed at this. And so we have a couple things in that bucket. One, the support center provides a business consultant. So if I'm meeting with my consultant once a week, if you will, I know I'll have that little time slot on my calendar to share, hey, I need help here, or could you find me some better resources here, or whatever. The other side of that coin is we have peer groups. I have a peer group or two that I collaborate with, if it's just through general email, or we meet once a quarter and we share successes, where we won something, where we didn't, and we help each other. So it's basically a big, large family where everybody's driven to accomplish basically the same goals, which is success and growing their business. And we help each other out. And that's been really a warm feeling, if you will, and it's consistent. So kind of going back to our convention a few weeks ago, we get to see each other once a year. We're able to sit down and talk and catch up. If it's someone I haven't seen, and I've seen them throughout the year be successful, and I want to go, hey, what are you doing? Hey, let me pick up on that. So to your point, yes, we do a lot of that in our model, our business model.
That's great. I love that, when we talk about franchises and everyone says, you have the support team and you have the blueprint and, you have all that. It's also the other franchisees too, so it's like what you said, kind of working with each other, trading stories,
100%.
getting tips. And you don't get that with a lot of businesses. If you start your own business,
Hmm.
you're on your own. This is, you have the friendly competition. You want to, beat them, of course, numbers wise, but also you want to learn from them too. And
Hmm.
it's been really helpful for us, especially we're in South Florida.
Hmm.
So our weather is challenging. So our off season is opposite than everyone else's off
Hmm.
season. So, but that was something that we learned. So we can all kind of, like, we went through it first. So we can suggest certain things that worked for us and we can help other people and vice versa. So we really love that. Like you said, like a family. You have a family and you have people really, truly looking out for one another.
Yeah, that's been the really cool part, is being able to collaborate with others. And one of my partners is an owner in St. Louis, so he's been around a lot longer than me. So I'm able to bounce things off of him as well. So that's been, kind of a positive thing, if you want to call it that, coming in as a new owner almost 3 years ago, and being able to talk with others that's been through it longer, that's experienced more challenges, if you will, so we can reduce them if we're able to just reduce the challenges. But starting a business is starting a business, like most are, and fortunately for us here at Citywide, we're able to, um, you know, join a business model that's been successful, continues to grow, and if we follow the model, we've got a really good chance of being successful. So that's what I'm excited about.
That's right. I mean, it's franchise ownership. Ultimately, franchise owners make franchises special. There are some people out there who like to try and quantify it and say, "Hey, can I keep my job? Can I work, 5 hours a week? And I just don't think anyone, before they get into it, can know how they're going to be able to balance it. Maybe you can, but the truth of the matter is that it probably is going to take more than you think, especially in the beginning. It's harder in the beginning, especially the first 6 months. But you find your rhythm and you learn how to be a franchise owner. You learn how to be a business owner, and you just won't know until you get in. And so the almost universal question is could I do both? Could I keep my job and have my business? And sure, maybe there's some businesses where you could do that, but if you've got employees and you're out there serving clients, I think it's probably a lot harder to do that. But it's, again, everybody's different and every business is a little different. But my experience is, and Jill's experience is the same, the shit usually hits the fan at the least opportune time.
It does. It does. Yeah. Now looking back, I don't see there was any way I could be involved in two different adventures, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
There's just too much going on. Plus, having an investment in the business, you want to get going. You want
Of
to,
course.
focus on that. You don't want any distractions. So that's one thing that we really sat down and looked at home before we got going, and both understood, hey, we might have some distractions or moments of interruption, but at the same time, we got to just keep the focus and keep looking ahead. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the great thing about it. Well, is there anything we haven't asked that you think is important for folks to know if they're exploring citywide or just franchise ownership in general?
no, I mean, all I would say is all the years that I was working for a bigger company. Looking back, you always think, man, I wish I'd have got into something like this sooner, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I had not ever looked into being a business owner, and now that I am, and now have partaken in a second market and second franchise, is really rewarding in a lot of ways. And hopefully, one day, as far as an investment, that part comes, over time. But it's been really rewarding. I would, if anybody was to ask me, would you do it again? I would say absolutely, absolutely. I don't have any desire of going back to work. And there's nothing wrong with it, but now that I've got a taste of this, I would never go back and work for a large company and play that role. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that's kind of how I feel now that I'm in it for about 3 years now.
No, it does. And I think it's a great answer because, and you probably felt this too when you were going to invest in your franchise. There were probably some sleepless nights. Am I doing the right thing? Is this the right thing? It's a lot of money. And a lot of times when we talk to people, it's, well, I'm not sure this is the right time, the economy or this or that.
It's never right.
Never a good time. And I think it actually.
Well, it's always a good time. It's never the right time.
Right. And so I think it's exactly what Bubba said and what you said, which is all of us kind of look back and say, we should have done this a lot sooner. Yeah. We should have started easily 5 years before we did. And so because the sooner you get started, the sooner you get past. To me, building a business is like raising a kid, right? That first year when the baby, it's hard. It's really hard. Yeah. But as the baby grows into a child and the child grows, it changes. I don't ever want to say it's easy. It's different, but it becomes more and more rewarding. And I think that's true of a business. And to me, they become sort of addictive. It's like you want to keep adding more of them. Right. And it's fun.
And to that point, kind of where we are versus some of the more tenured owners, your point is you're hitting the nail on the head. I see those and I'm like, hey, they put in the time, did it right, followed the model, and here's where they are. So hopefully I'll be able to be fortunate enough to spend that same amount of time and accomplish some of those similar goals. So that's what I try to keep everything in front of us. There's nothing you can do with what happened yesterday. It's over. So I try to keep everything in front of me to say, okay, how do I set goals and keep the ambition there in front of me to want to go after success long term. And so, in our model, in our business, and the folks representing citywide across the country, I keep an eye on that. I want to know how others are doing and try to do the same thing. So,
Jill and I, we've kind of famously admitted that we own a window cleaning business and we don't know how to clean windows. We don't know how to pressure wash, but we don't want our guys to think we're above working alongside them. So we try and contribute where our skills help. So like on the weekend, I handle the internet leads for our GM. It's not hard to do. And people are like, oh my God, what does that do to your life? What? We could be at dinner. It's 2 seconds. It comes in. Hey, we'd love to get you on the books for a free estimate. It takes no time, but you know what? We also want to do our part. I guess they call that servant leadership. Is there anything for you, like for you guys, how do you guys do that in your business?
Well, there's a lot of networking. There's social media efforts here internally. I have one of my team members involved in the social media piece. At the end of the day, it's referrals, who you know that knows someone else, door knocking. But we also kind of like you said, sometimes we'll get a lead through our website or whatever and follow up on it. But yeah, we're always out there searching for the opportunity to give free quotes, free estimates to those that are interested in. And we have, like your business, we have that same service in our arsenal of services as well. So whether it's something on a regular basis like janitorial support or those once a week, once a month, once a quarter, whatever services, we're always looking for those opportunities. So it can come in at any time. Sure can.
All right. I have 2 last questions for you, and then I promise we'll let you go. Any tax advantages? So for example, we help clients, you could buy a laundromat, right? And those laundry machines qualify for up to a $500,000 Section 179 tax deduction depreciation that can be claimed in the first year. Is there any tax advantages to being a citywide, or is your guys more service related?
It's pretty much service related.
Okay.
Yep. Pretty much service related.
All right. And then, I was going to ask another question.
I don't know. You said you had 2.
I had 2 questions, but you know what? I think that one just took care of all of it. Oh, I know. So obviously right now, hot topic. And when people look back on this podcast, for all of you in the future that are watching 2 years from now, I'm going to ask a question that probably won't age well, but any concerns of any of the tariff stuff going around right now affecting your guys' business, raising your costs?
We have had some communication throughout our business about that when it comes to the tools, supplies we use, whether it's equipment, cleaning chemicals, etc., that we would use for a service. We're keeping an eye on it. We have seen maybe a couple vendors message us about that provide us those things, maybe on a nationwide basis. So we're keeping a close eye on those things for sure. Because it can be impactful if it gets too crazy, but right now we're just keeping an eye on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the same for us. I mean, we're mainly delivering services, so for a business like ours, it's not a big impact. But hopefully, it's a lot of posturing. But we'll leave that to people that work that side of the.
Sure.
Anyways, well, listen, Bubba, this has been very, very cool to have you on today. For those of you that are interested in learning more about Citywide as a potential franchise opportunity, you know the drill. Text us at 305-710-0050 for more information. Bubba, thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
You're welcome. Appreciate the opportunity. You all take care.
Same to you, sir. Take care. Bye.